Morning. See, it's a fourth series of the English comprehension of 2011. Let's start. See, these are the comprehensions and comments. Thus, whatever the moral act, always you have to use for your own discretion. That will be the valid. The way. So, let's say according to this the comprehensions. A moral act must be our own act. Must spring from our own will or demand. If we act mechanically, there is no moral content in our act. Such action would be immoral if we think it the properly to act like machine and do so for in doing so we use our discrimination. We should bear in the mind that distinctions between acting and mechanically acting intentionally, it may be a moral of a king to pardon the culprit. But the messenger, the carrying out the order of the pardon, plays only a mechanical parts in the king as a moral act. But if the messenger were to carry out the king and order considering it to be his duty, his action would be the moral one. How can a man understand the morality who doesn't use his own intelligence and the power of thought, but lets himself be swept along like a log of wood by current? Sometimes a man defies conviction and act on his own views to absolute good. So see, comprehension, discretion, as we know that's the reflect your intelligence. So see, 26 number question, which of the following statement best describe thought of the writer? Moral act calls for using our discretion. Definitely one will be the correct. No need to go for. Because man should react to the situation immediately. Man must do his duty. That's not. And man shouldn't be able to identify the conviction in order to be a moral. That cannot be. Why it shows? Because the statement is a D. C. 26. Man should be able to defy the conviction in order to be a moral. That is also mentioned, of course, because see, one is correct as the writer talks of the moral act that should be done by own will. And statement 4 is also correct because personal thinking, in order to be a moral, one can defy convictions, definitely. So we have to include also 4 here. So 1 and 4, that will be the options, is correct. Now 27, which one of the following statement is the nearest definition of moral action according to the writer? It is a mechanical action based on official order from the superior. No, it is action based on our sense of discretion, definitely. Why 27 is because according to the writer, the moral action is neither the mechanical nor the clarity of the purpose or the religious actions. So definitely the concern here be. 28. The passage the consider, see, passage the contents, the statement lets himself be swept along like log of wood by current among the following the statement, which is is the nearest meaning to this. Other person doesn't use his own reason. That will be, of course, and he is susceptible to the influence of the pressure, of course. Sometimes the pressurization will be high on you. At that condition, of course, you are going to be not use your own discretion. So definitely 1 and 2 can be valid, and the 3, he can't withstand the difficult challenges that is not mentioned. He is like a log of the wood. 20th. See, B statement 1 or 2 are as let himself be swept, means he doesn't hold his own ground and intelligence. So definitely here 1 and 2 is going to be correct, so we have the choice. That's it. Now next the comprehensions are coming related to the environment. What is the values and importance of the education? Why we are trying to see education without doubt as an important functional, instrumental and unilateral dimension. This is revealed when the one asks the question such as what is the purpose of the education, and the answers too often to require the qualifications for employment, upward mobility. Otherwise, the higher the term of incomes and the opportunity and to the needs for the trend from the power in diverse fields for the national development, but it is, in its deepest sense of the education is not instrumentalist. That is to say, this is not to be justified outside itself because it led to the acquisition of a formal skill of certain desired psychological, social attribute. It must be the respect in itself in the education is thus not the commodity to be acquired, and the proceed then used, but the proceed of inestimable importance to individual and the society, although it can or does have enormous use the value of education, then is the process of expansion and conversion, not in the sense of the converting or the turning the student into the doctor and the engineers. That's not the main prominent of the education. So see, but widening and the turning out of the mind, the creation, sustenances, and development of self-critical awareness. So definitely independence of thought. So self-critical awareness, education, manifestations and awareness as well as independence of thought. It's the inner, deepest in the process of moral and intellectual development, the sense of education. So remind you of the brands, especially if you go through the comprehension of the Upsc, definitely you will get some very important fact of the education, the balance, and as well as the related all kinds of the topics which are important for the Upsc. You will get the basic knowledge of that topic also. So now, no doubt that if I ask you that what is the deepest sense of the education, definitely how they handle any kind of the crisis by your own intelligence, that's the reflection of education importance. So what do you understand by the instrumentalist reviews of the education? Instrumentalist, it has been first 2 to 3 sentences that clearly mention education is functional and unilateral, yes, in its purpose. So it's going to be the crux. That's all. Now, second, according to the passage, the education must be respected in itself, because what is that? It's the inner process of moral and intellectual development, of course, and helping acquire the qualification. That is instrumental and unilateral, that has been mentioned there. So C will be the correct. Now, education is the process in which what? What is the importance of the education? What is the process of the education? Definitely, it has been clearly. Individual develop self-critical awareness and independence of thought. That has been. That means education. Why we are trying to get the education? Because you will know that what kind of the basic and best strategy to solve any kind of the circumstances that reflects in the education importance, of course. So C will be here a valid point. Why? Because individual develops self-critical awareness and independence of thought. That will be a correct answer. Now further, this the comprehension coming from the chemical pesticide, no doubt. See, chemical pesticides lose their role in the sustainable agriculture if the pest evolves resistance. The evolution of the pesticide and the resistance is simply natural selection in action. It is almost certain to occur when the vast number of genetically variable population are killed. One or few individual may be usually resistant, perhaps because they the process and the enzyme that can detoxify the pesticide. If the pesticide is applied repeatedly and each successive generation of the pest will contain a larger the proportion of resistant and individual pests typically have a high intensity rate of the reproduction and so on. Few individuals in the one generation may give rise to 100 or the 1,000 in the next, and resistance spread the barrier rapidly in a population. So these the problems are often ignored in the past, even through the first case of diphenyltrichloroethane resistance are reported early as 1946. There is exponential increase in increase the number of the invertebrates that have evolved resistant, and in the number of the pesticides against pests resistant has evolved. Resistance has been recorded in every family of the arthropod pest, and including dipatterns, such as the mosquitoes and the housefly, as well as the beetles, worms, wasps, fleas, mites, as well as the weed and the plants of the pathogen attack the alpama, leafworm, or the most often the pest in the cotton. As an example, it has been developed resistant in the one or more region of the world to adrenaline, of course, and DDT, dioxin, entrin, and lindan, and toxin. If the chemical pesticide, the problem nothing but the problems if their use was intensively and accurately sustainable, then they would already have fallen out of the virus for the use, and this hasn't not. Having instead their rate of the production has increased rapidly. The ratio of the cost to the benefit for the individual agricultural producer has remain in the favor of the pesticide use. In the USA, insecticide has been estimated to benefit the agriculture the produce produce to the ton of around $5 for every $1 spent. Around ton of around $5 for every $1 spent. Sure. Moreover, in the men the property country in the prospect in the imminent, the mass starvation or if an endemic diseases are also sort of finding that the social and the health of the cost of the using pesticide have to be ignored. In general, the use of the pesticide is justified by objective measures such as live and separate economy efficiency of the food production and total food produce. In this very fundamental sense, their use may be described as sustainable in the practice substantially. Sustainability depend on continued development of the pesticide that keep at least one step ahead of the pest. Pesticides that are the less the persistent or the biodegradable, more accurately targeted all the pest. So see, if we conclude of this, the passage definitely it comes that if we use of the biopesticide, that will be less degradable of the environment. So definitely. Now questions. Questions 32. The abolition of the pesticide resistance is natural selection and action. What does it actually imply? See, it is the very natural for many organisms to have the pesticide resistant. See the pesticide resistant among the organism is the universal phenomenon. Some the individual and the given the population resistant after the application of the pesticide. See here, and the option will be not 3 all are we're going to be mentioning the comprehensions because so that's why we have the choice only. And D is going to be. Why it is so? Because natural selection is the key, the mechanism of evolution. It is the gradual, non-random the process by which the ecological trait become either more or the less common in the population as the function of differential the reproduction of their variety. As the variation exists between all the population of the organism, this occurs partly because the random mutation cause the change in the genome of an individual organism. These mutations can be passed by individual organism. These mutations can be passed to offspring, thug out the individual and lives there the genome. Interacted with their environment too, and cause the variation in trait. So definitely I'm the deal with the correction because these all are not. So here deal with the correction the 32. Now for the 33, with reference to the past and the concern following the statement, use of the chemical pesticide has become more imperative in all the poor country of the world, and the chemical pesticides shouldn't have any role in sustainable agriculture. Do you think so that the chemical pesticides shouldn't have any role in that? Sure, according to the passage, we have to choose the correct option. So 33, C, only B is going to be the correct. Only 3. Because why it is so? Because it has been one pest can develop the resistance to the many pesticides. That has been the so chemical pesticides should never have any role. If there is no role, why do we have no using? In the USA, we have the only toxin that especially C 10 of the 5 what we have done is study here, see I'm the 10 in a USA insecticide as we see in a US insecticide they have estimated to benefit and agriculture the product to turn the around of $5 for every $1 spent. So that's why as we know so 2 we will be eliminated here, this one, then you have the only 3 options is going to be because the use of the chemical pesticide has to become more imperative on all the poor, the country of the world. Why it shows? Because why we will elect the correct ones? Because the passage doesn't talk about all the poor countries. Sure, definitely did. Now 34. 34 talk the problem associated with the use of the chemical pesticide is known for long time. Due to widespread use hasn't been why? Alternative to the chemical pesticide don't exist at all. New the pesticide are not invited at all. No, the pesticide are the biodegradable. So 24 is going to be there definitely because here use of the chemical pesticide known for long time their widespread the use hasn't not won. Why? Because the widespread use of the pesticide hasn't won because the ratio of the cost to the benefit of the individual agriculture producer has the remained in the favor of the pesticide use. That's why. So here D will be correct 34. Now 35. How do the pesticide act as the agent for selection of the individual in any pest form? It's possible that in the pesticide C 35. What are the questions? 35 C. Let's have it. 35 number the question saying the how do the pesticide act as the agent for selection of the resistant individual in the pest population. First, as we know, it is possible that in the pest the population of the individual will have the differently due to their genetic makeup. Second one, the pest do possess the ability to detoxify the pesticide, and the third, evolution of the pesticide resistance is equally distributed in the pest population. So 35 is going to be, of course, the only one is going to be, it's possible that in the pest, the population, the individual will have the differently due to their genetic makeup. It has been clearly mentioned in the comprehension 35. Why? Because natural the population of the pest, if you go through the comprehension, then you will assess that that natural the population often the pass of the contents the amongst their the vast number of the individual member and the considerable the variation of their genetic material. Primarily as the result of the mutations when they are exposed to the pesticide, the most of the pest die quickly, but some may have the mutation that make them slightly less susceptible. If the exposure to the pest is short, these individuals will survive. The treatment, these selective the elimination of the maladapted individual from the population is natural selection. So now 36. 36 the questions show what will be the answer of here. Only one, especially 35 is going to be a, here will be A. This will be 35. Now 36, C. Why is 35 number questions is it saying, sorry 36, why is the use of the chemical pesticide generally justified by the giving the example of the poor and developing countries? 36. C. 36 will be develop C option, the first option. First option, development, the country can afford to do away with use of the pesticide by adopting to the organic farming, but it is imperative for poor developing country to use chemical pesticide. Not the correct. Second one, in the poor and developing country are the pesticide addressing the problem of the endemic disease of the crops and yes, is of the food the problem. Is not mentioned the comprehension of course especially, and third one, if we eliminate from the 1, 1, 1, so definitely we will have the choice of only B. Why it is so? If we see the explanation that why not C will be show C. One is not the correct. As the organic farming is not mentioned in the passage, further the passage justified as the cost of the benefit to develop the country like the USA. That's all. And the 2 is only correct. Why is because of this the problem it becomes imperative to use the pesticide. It has been clearly mentioned. And why the 3 is going to be wrong? Because the social and health of the cost have to ignore because of the fighting the prospect of the epidemic disease. So definitely here C will be correct. Now 37. What does the passage imply? Yes, too much use of the chemical is not the good for ecosystem. Simple. Use of the pesticide, what kind of impactions is the comments from the chemical pesticide use and the degradation of the environment. There is a concept of this, the comprehension. So this is a very important conception as well as the comprehension. Of course, if you go through 2 to 5 times often this the comprehension, then definitely you will be able to understand the concept of this comprehension, and this knowledge definitely you will be able to utilize while the writing of essay in the maths exam and as well as also attempting the GS1 and GS2 papers, because it will assist you in also ecology and environmental chapters. So now next the comprehension I will talk in another video tutorial. Thank you. Have a great time.